Today I'm going to expose 5 lies that Dr. Zakir Naik tells the world to sanitize Islam and make it look good, appealing to the masses, so that he can have as many converts as he wants. He tells the world that there is no compulsion in religion. But today I'm unmasking the truth behind one verse that Dr. Zakir Naik never talks about. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 137. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I would encourage you to do so, because by doing so, you are helping us to continue bringing you more deep dives like this one. Now, this video is based on a question that was asked by somebody in the audience regarding a verse that says there is no compulsion in religion. The questioner asked, if there is no compulsion in religion, why does Islam command people to be killed when they leave Islam? Here is the clip.
My name is Rahul Bhatia. I'm an engineer by profession. I have a question that has been in my mind for quite a while now. The Noble Quran says, let there be no compulsion in religion. That's point number 1. And point number 2 is that the punishment for a Muslim who wants to come out of Islam, God forbid, is death punishment. According to me, this signifies a virtual compulsion in the mind that this is the punishment which will be given to me, so hence I cannot do it. And this kind of, I just need some clarification. I'm sure there is a clarification on this point.
Here are the 5 lies that Dr. Zakir Naik made, blatant lies, in an effort to sanitize Islam to look good in the eyes of the world, so that people can freely join Islam without knowing the danger that is in it. Here is the clip.
That's a very good question. He hasn't given the reference. First, he quoted the verse of the Quran from Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 256, which says, La ikraha fid deen, there is no compulsion in religion. And that is part of the deen, that you cannot force anyone, you cannot compel anyone with the point of the sword or the point of the gun. His next question is that if any Muslim leaves his religion and becomes a non-Muslim, becomes an apostate, then the penalty is death. So isn't this a sort of compulsion? Far as making anyone accept Islam, no Muslim can force any non-Muslim to accept Islam at the point of the sword or at the point of the gun. What we have to do is we have to convey the message. If you like it, you accept it. If you don't like it, no problem. Our job is to convey the message. It's mentioned in the Quran, Surah Erasure, chapter number 88, Fazakir namma anta muzakkir. Our job is to deliver the message. We have to deliver the message in the best way, with hikmah and with husna, with most beautiful preaching. Whether the other human being, non-Muslims, accept or not, it is not under our control. We cannot force anyone to accept Islam at the point of the sword, the point of the gun. But that what you're talking is a different case in a state of Islamic law. Like as I gave you an example where a person working in army, if he sells the secrets of the country, then the penalty is somewhat similar.
So let's look at lie number 1. Naik quotes Surah Baqarah, chapter 2, 256, and says there is no compulsion in religion. Now, that sounds very nice. And it sounds very comforting. But as far as this is concerned, no one should be forced to enter Islam. Now, this is a blatant lie. The Quran does not say there is no compulsion in religion when entering Islam. The Quran just says there is no compulsion in religion, period. All other things that Dr. Zakir Naik added were pure lies. Now, for Dr. Zakir Naik to add the stay or die clause, he has put a trap for those who are already in Islam, because it turns a universal principle of freedom into a predatory trap. You see how dangerous the man is? If the Quran simply states there is no compulsion in religion, there is no indication there that it is only when you are entering. It is a universal principle. The command that people should be killed when they leave Islam comes from one of the hadiths. In this way, the hadith contradicts the Quran, because this statement is an exclusive statement. It just says there's no compulsion in religion, period. Not when entering only, but there's compulsion if you try to leave. That's not true. Let's go to lie number 2. At 1 minute 28 seconds, Dr. Zakir Naik gives an analogy of treason. He begins by saying every nation has its own laws, and that if a person reveals the secrets of a nation, the punishment for that person is death. He also talks about a soldier. He says if a soldier leaks state secrets, that soldier should be executed. Here is the clip.
Before I give the answer, I would like to mention that every country has its own law, its rules and regulation. And most of the countries, one of the highest punishments is for treason. For example, if a person is working in the army and if he leaks the important thing of the country, all the vital points and the information to the enemy, it is called as treason. Most of the countries, if anyone does treason, sells the important blueprints and documents of the country to the enemy, many of the countries, the death penalty, many of the countries have life imprisonment. So now if I tell that what kind of a country is this, in where I'm compelled by the country not to do certain things, what is wrong is wrong. So here also, if a Muslim becomes a non-Muslim, it's only in the Islamic state of law if that Muslim who becomes a murtad and then propagates his new faith and deceives the people, that's the time this penalty is put.
Do you see the deception here? He is comparing spiritual heart change with military espionage. He compares your conscience with state secrets. Now, it's important to understand that the Quran defines apostasy as an issue between God and man. It talks about an apostate not being forgiven in the afterlife. It does not talk about a person being executed in this life. In over 10 verses addressing those who turn back, the Quran mentions zero worldly punishment. Now, Dr. Zakir Naik isn't explaining the Quran. He is inventing a political excuse for violence. Now let's look at line number 3, the quiet exit versus the propagation. Now, about 2 minutes and 16 seconds, Dr. Zakir Naik says, the death penalty is only for those who leave Islam and start propagating another faith. Now, this is a lie of omission. Under the very Sharia he advocates, the penalty for apostasy is death. It has nothing to do about somebody going to propagate another faith. By simply leaving Islam, you become an apostate and therefore subject to a death penalty. In fact, somewhere he mentions, give him 3 days. If he doesn't come back, then disown him. And if it's in a case of a Sharia law, that person is supposed to be killed. Here is the clip.
If anyone does treason, sells the important blueprints and documents of the country to the enemy, many of the countries, the death penalty, many of the countries have life imprisonment. So now if I tell that what kind of a country is this, in where I'm compelled by the country not to do certain things, what is wrong is wrong. So here also, if a Muslim becomes a non-Muslim, it's only in the Islamic state of law if that Muslim who becomes a murtad and then propagates his new faith and deceives the people, that's the time this penalty is put.
Now just imagine, Islam prevents other people from leaving it. And yet Dr. Zakir Naik goes around the world telling people to join Islam, leaving their religions, the Hindus, the Christians, the atheists, and join Islam, and yet they cannot leave it should they change their mind. How is that not compulsion? He demands the right to convents, but justifies the execution of those who leave it. What happens if other religions also did the same? Where would Islam be? Now, Dr. Zakir Naik doesn't want a level playing field. He wants Islam to have monopoly over convents. Because in Christianity, you can freely join, you can freely leave. Your pastor may talk to you, but no one will force you. But the reason I suspect Dr. Zakir Naik and other scholars promote the death for exit is that when a person gets inside, Islam is not as attractive as they say it is. Now, to force them not to leave, they have to enforce a death penalty. Let's go to line number 4, the 2 + 2 = 4 analogy. At 2 minutes 22 seconds, Dr. Zakir Naik gives one of the wildest examples, very, very unrelated to the question that was asked. He talks about a person who is employed as a teacher in a school, and this person starts teaching something totally different. Maybe he starts saying 2 plus 2 is equal to 5 or 6. Shouldn't the owner of the school chase that person? Now, it sounds logical to people without analytical skills. Here is the clip.
For example, if in a school, if I appoint a teacher, mathematics teacher, she is teaching 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Then tomorrow she teaches 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So, but naturally I won't keep her in my school. The same way, the punishment for such a murtad in Islamic state, it is death. This will not be called as compulsion. It will be a person who has strayed away from the truth to the falsehood.
Now, this is the most arrogant lie. Dr. Zakir Naik here is treating the issues of faith like mathematics. There is absolute certainty in Islam. Islam is so good that we have to help you stay in it. Why don't they leave this to Allah to punish the person, as the Quran says, that such a person, when he turns back on Allah, he will not be forgiven. So in other words, they are not providing a second opportunity for that person to convert in future. Let's go to lie number 5. The ignoring of Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse 137. Throughout the entire argument, Zakir Naik avoids the most damning evidence against his arguments. Surah Nisa chapter 4, verse 137. And it states, those who believe, then disbelieve, then believe again, then disbelieve. Now, if the law was to kill them for the first time, how would they have a chance to disbelieve and then believe again? Naik knows that this verse exists and knows that the Quran stands by what it says. There is no compulsion in religion, because it envisions a time when people would leave the faith. Instead, he chooses a hardline hadith over the clear mess of the Quran, because he isn't trying to tell the truth, but is trying to win the argument and along it convert unfortunate souls to Islam who are going to be trapped in it or else risk death. The conclusion. Now, Dr. Zakir Naik is a master of the stage. He's a man who answers every question, so he thinks. He uses logic to kill logic. So the next time you hear him say there's no compulsion in religion, ask yourself, is he talking about freedom, or is talking about the bait before the trap? Don't be deceived. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor, like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell for more. By doing so, you are helping us to continue bringing you more deep dives like this one. To watch other videos where Dr. Zakir Naik blatantly told lies, click on this link.